Happy New Year to all our viewers. It is 2022 and we are glad that you decided to begin this new year with us.
Great. And Mike, we are praying for good tidings and blessings 2022.
Yes, and to kick us off, we're doing things in style because we have two patriotic Kenyans who are waving the Kenyan flag high abroad.
Yes, in Seattle there is, and by the way they say Seattle.
Seattle.
And if you say Seattle, those guys are unlikely to understand you. Seattle in Washington State, I met this amazing Kenyan lady, a daring entrepreneur with a store that stores everything Kenyan. She's called Lucy Kinyanjui and the store is known as Lukinya. That is from her name, Lucy Kinyanjui. From cereals, you know, to unga wa ugali, unga wa wimbi, spices, Mike, clothes, curios, even vegetables imported from Kenya, and people are flocking, you know, just wanting to get that taste of Kenya.
Indeed, talk about representing your motherland.
Yes.
And what else do you have
What
in
else,
store?
Mike? We are going to take our viewers for a ride.
Not in the way you're thinking.
Yeah, there is this guy who cycled from Nairobi to Durban, and he was fundraising. His name is Is Wakake. Very determined. I just got amazed how he could do it from Nairobi, imagine, to Durban, but he had stopovers like in Gaborone, Botswana. He spent some time there, you know, refreshing and being, you know, taken care of by the Kenyans living in Botswana. Amazing trip. So I had a chit chat with him when he arrived in Nairobi, and you'll be amazed at his story.
Yes, what an amazing show we have in store for you. And we begin with Seattle.
Yes, Seattle. Right. There is Managu, there is Dodo, there is Saga. Which one is the most popular? Kunde?
Yeah, the most popular is Dodo, Managu, na Kude.
Yeah, this is the
famous. Yeah, kuna hii pia. Hii ndio ya kugagata. Hii iko pure wimbi. Na hii iko na terere.
You have beans, you have dengu.
We have dengu. We have jahe.
Even jahe.
We have kamande.
Yeah. Lucy Kinyanjui has been at this for the last 4 years. Her enterprise is known as Lukinya International, located in Kent, Seattle City, in Washington State. Who'd have thought a Kenyan all the way from Gatundu in Kiambu County, Kenya, would excel in selling Kenyan products in one of the farthest cities from Kenya to the US, a 12-hour difference in time during winter.
We bring unga ya ugari, unga ya uji, especially unga ya uji is very, very popular with not just Kenyans, Africans. We bring a lot of that one, but that one I only do it by air cargo, which is very expensive. So by the time it gets here, it's very expensive because it has very short expiration dates. So if I bring it by containers, it will expire by the time it gets here. So that one I have like air cargo every 2 weeks.
Lucy is literally painting Seattle City with Kenyan brands, a typical example of taking Kenya to the world.
I have been appointed as a sole distributor for Butterfly Company, which is a big company that sells, you know, jahe, pigeon peas, dengo, atta, and rice. Rice is also really popular, the Mishori rice. So I'm their official distributor in the US, but that one I bring by containers.
And if you thought the so-called dawa that became popular during the COVID-19 pandemic is only found in Kenya, you are wrong. Peptang did not waste time branding it and running with it to the world.
Actually, dawa is very popular in Kenya. Every restaurant you go to, dawa. So Peptang company decided to now do it commercially. So when I traveled to Kenya a month ago, so I was going to meet with them because they have appointed me to be their distributor in the whole of US. So they gave me the sample of the dawa, and I loved it, I loved it. So that's why I think that will be our greatest seller in the US.
Even Kenyans here in the US love it?
Oh, oh yes, yeah.
What is it? Why is it loved?
Because it is a very, very healthy drink. It has ginger, lemon, and honey, so it's really good for your, for your body. And especially with these times now, with the COVID and everything, I'm sure not just Kenyans will be buying it, even the whole of US.
The other fast-selling Kenyan goods here are juices. You'll be surprised. Again, from Peptang.
In fact, everybody who has tasted that juice, even Americans, they love it. They said they have never drunk anything like that. So this is going to be a market not just for Kenyans or Africans, but for the American market.
Wow.
So they have the mango, they have passion, they have pineapple. Then they have just now made other healthy drinks with vegetables.
You see, her list has been growing and growing and growing. Something that Kenya and Kenyans would really be proud about.
The other things are, of course, tea. We sell a lot of tea.
Kenyan tea.
Kenyan tea, yeah. Everything we sell here in terms of food, it's all from Kenya.
Everything is Kenyan.
Everything is Kenyans. Like you see the potato chips, this is my own brand. We just started it like 3 months ago. It's actually made in Kenya. It's shipped here. We also have the famous managu.
Yeah, I've seen Mess Foods. We featured them before.
Oh,
from Eldoret.
Yeah, I'm the official distributor here, Margaret Coleman.
Yeah.
I'm also the official distributor of managu in the US. Yeah, Dodo, Saga, Kunde, and people love them.
How do you ship them here?
The clothes come by air cargo.
Lucy believes in quality and meeting international standards. She stocks attire for all seasons.
We sell a lot of those clothing, so I have to get someone who understands how to make clothes without measuring you, because they come in sizes. Like when you go to a shop in America, you go and you know your size, so you pick your size. So it's the same way now in Lukinya, that when you come, you pick your size, because I've trained those people to make the clothes without measuring you. Most of the clothes here are made in Kenya. I have about 6 tailors who specifically do the clothes for me. They're in Nairobi. I pick the materials myself. I'm really hands-on. So the designs, the materials, I pick them up with. Even though when I'm here, sometimes they have to go to the shops, take the pictures, then I go through them and pick what I want. So at the end of everything, I'm the one who actually picks everything, the styles and all that.
This is the famous.
This is the famous Masai Shuka.
Lucy, who is the winner of the 2021 African Achievement Award for Service to Community, supports quite a number of needy people, especially women who are able to use their skills to produce products like clothes. She also gives a lot to charity.
Little did I know it is actually helping, because the many people who have been helped by bringing products from Kenya to the US, it's amazing. It is amazing, because you are changing people's life. Even when you look at the big companies like Peptang giving me that distribution, of course they are widening their market. And when they widen the market, they need more employees, so our Kenyans benefit. So I don't just look at it as my business. I look at it as lifting our people's, lives.
One interesting thing is that you get a feel of various regions of Kenya when you spend time in this shop.
We also do like carvings, shiondos, we have nyongos, meiko, so we have all those. And now actually, by January, we'll be having jikos. Jiko ya makaa.
Now that's the way we let Kenya happen.
Me, that is my goal. Actually, to be very honest, when I started this business, it was like a joke. I had started importing things from US to Kenya. I have a shop in Kenya.
The more you listen to Lucy's story, the more you get inspired and the more you get convinced that with passion and determination, you can conquer not only the village, but also the county, the country, and the globe. Lucy is a true go-getter whose roots in her motherland are intact.
I have a shop in Kenya that sells all American products, and I only take the products that are not in Kenya. I don't take, products that you can get in Kenya.
Where's the shop?
It's in Nairobi. It's on Gong Road, opposite Greenhouse Mall. So I've been doing that for the last 9 years. So then one time I decided, why can't I bring Kenya to the US? Because I knew there was a gap. I knew it was very difficult to get things, from Kenya to here. And also, why can't we also promote our country in this country? You see all other people, Filipinos, Mexicans, they all sell their products here in the US. And when we do that, of course, we are helping our country.
But who exactly are Lucy's clients in the United States of America?
We have all clients, actually. This shop, when I opened, I thought, I'm opening because of, Africans or Kikuyus. Little did I know, everybody loves African foods and clothes. We have the Kenyans, of course. We have all type of Kenyans, We also have a lot of Mexicans, Filipinos, Wazungus, everybody.
Lucy is a medical social worker by training. She used to work for Nairobi Hospice that takes care of cancer patients. Her job made her travel to various parts of the world, for example, to Zimbabwe, South Africa, and the United Kingdom.
I came in 1997, and I had just come here. The way people decide to come and visit, but that particular time I had come on attachment through the hospice in Minnesota. So I was invited by the doctors who had come to Kenya. Then they invited me, so I came to St. Paul, Minnesota. So while I was there, I decided to venture and stay. So that's how I decided to stay. But then I moved to Washington State because I wanted to go to school also. So I came to Washington State, and actually I've never left Washington State. I've been here throughout. Yeah, this is my second home. I had to change. I changed my visa. It became a student visa. I went to college. I worked in various places. I continued as a social worker, but I left now employment in I would say is maybe 14 years ago.
And started this.
Yeah, I've never been employed for the last 14 years. I've been in business.
Well, Alex, that seems to have been a very interesting experience for you.
Very interesting, Mike, and just spending time at Lucy's shop made me feel at home, seeing all those Kenyan products.
Yeah.
And on that note, we take a short break. When we return, we will tell you how Is Wakake cycled his way from Nairobi to Durban and why.
Yes.
Finally we meet.
Finally tumekutana bana. Baada ya miezi ngapi? Almost 4 months, eh?
Yeah, it's almost 4 months.
Miezi 4.
Nakumbuka ukinitafuta kwa WhatsApp.
Bana
mimi nashindwa jamaa anataka kucycle from Kenya to Durban,
Na nimefanya. Ilikuwa ngumu.
So hii safari yako ilianzia wapi?
Official trip ikaanzia Malindi sasa. Nikatoka Malindi 26th of August. Nikaride hadi Diani. Nikaenda nikalala Diani siku 2. Nikatoka 29th of August. Nikavuka Lungalunga Horohoro border, nikaenda nikalala Tanga, Tanzania. Kutoka Tanga, Tanzania sasa, nikalala hiyo usiku, nilifika kama saa 1. Nikatoka Tanga, Tanzania, nilikuwa na approach Chalinze, I think inaitwa Chalinze, junction ya kwenda, ukiwa sasa Tanzania unavuka utakwenda Zambia. Nikapata breakdown. Sasa badala ya kurudi Zambia nikaenda Dar es Salaam. Nikavuka na Bagamoyo, nikaenda hadi Dar es Salaam. Nikakaa Dar es Salaam 1 week nikingoja brakes, nitumie brake pads za baiskeli.
Kutoka wapi?
brakes zilikuwa zinatoka?
Zinatoka Kenya zinakuja Dar es Salaam. Hawako na the kind of brakes za hii baiskeli.
Na wakati huo uko tu peke yako?
Niko peke yangu yote yote, nilikuwa tu peke yangu. Kutoka huko baada ya baiskeli kwa sawa nimepata parts, baiskeli imetengenezwa. Nikatoka Dar es Salaam approach border ya Tanzania na Zambia. Hiyo safari ilinichukua about slightly about 1 week. Nikatoka Dar es Salaam, nikaingia Dodoma, sikuingia Dodoma, nikapitia Morogoro. Kutoka Morogoro nikaenda nikapitia njia nikaenda nikapitia Mbeya. Mbeya nikaanza kupata mikosi. Kwanza nilipotoka Morogoro, kesho yake asubuhi nikapata accident. Nikaanguka tu kutoka kwa barabara. That was the first accident. The day after nikapata accident ya pili. Bado za kuanguka tu. Lakini bado naona sijaumia sana, mikono ziko sawa, nikaendelea. Nikafika Mbeya. Mbeya nikalala 2 days. Kutoka Mbeya sasa natoka Mbeya. Mbeya is about 100 kilometers to the border. Nimetoka tu Mbeya hivi. Nimepiga kama 10 kilometers. Nateremka kwa mteremko. Niko mbio sana. Basi na yeye imetoka huko iko on the wrong side of the road na traffic iko hivi. The guy doesn't want to go back into his lane. Barabara huko nje hakuna shoulder, ni nyembamba. Ikabidi anisukume nje ya barabara bana. Nilirushwa huko juu nikaenda nikaanguka na magoti.
Pole.
Unaona sasa haijapona vizuri. Imepona lakini hiyo dunia haijaisha.
Serious, this is the challenges of cycling.
Hili niweka out of the road for close to 8 days.
Siku ngapi sasa kwa jumla ulitumia ndio ukafika Gaborone?
Ndio nilifika Gaborone nilitumia I think exactly 2.5 months. Nilikuwa naenda nikisimama, unajua kama TZ nilika a very long period. Gaborone nimekaa 1 whole month.
Na niliona you are very warmly received there na Wakenya huko.
Si hata Wakenya peke yake. Kenyans, Zambians, Ugandans, Tanzanians, everyone, South Africans in Botswana, everyone received me.
And they were willing to support you.
Ambassador wetu Mr. Shidie, kabisitiko namjua.
Namjua, nimekutana naye huko Gaborone.
Shidie nilikuwa nakula lunch kwake kila siku. And he insisted, you have to come for lunch. You have to come for lunch. So I was very well received.
Na wakati huo ulikuwa ngojea upate visa kwenda South Africa.
Sasa ngoja visa kwenda South Africa. The challenge being, challenge ilikuwa for a Kenyan, you have to apply for your visa in Kenya.
Okay.
Hapo sasa nilikuwa na changamoto.
Ukasolve aje?
Mimi niliongea tu na watu vizuri. Chairman wa Kenya Botswana anaitwa Tom. Tom is a very active man. Tom alihakikisha nimepata visa ya South Africa.
Tom Atonga,
nikiwa Botswana.
Ukishapata visa sasa mwendo wa kwenda Durban.
Mwendo wa kwenda Durban. Nikavuka inaitwa Clockwan border. On the other side ukivuka on the other side na uko South Africa. Barabara niko kwa msitu peke yangu over 100 kilometers. Siku ya kwanza nikalala Zirast. The second day nikalala Rustenburg. Siku ya tatu nikaenda kulala village ingine tu hapo. It's a very nice village inaitwa Kabalatsane. Kabalatsane nililala 2 days.
Na ulipitia Joburg ndio fike Durban?
Nilipitia sasa kutoka Kabalatsane nililala 2 days, nikatoka Kabalatsane nikaingia Pretoria, nikakuwa na courtesy call na ambassador in South Africa. Nikatoka hiyo the same day niliingia Pretoria, ride tena hadi Joburg. Nikaenda nikakaa Joburg for about 10 days. Nikifanya activations, I'm a musician, so I met musicians, they organized performances for me. I performed in inaitwa Soweto Expo Festival, which also houses Soweto Jazz Festival. So I performed there.
So in Durban, what did you achieve?
Durban was the best. In Durban, basically from Joburg to Durban, I made a lot of network. I networked so much with corporates. I networked with the people who are in the tourism industry. After Durban, I took a bus back to Joburg. I met a few Kenyans in Joburg. And then the day after, I took a plane back home.
Ulikuwa na cycle kwa madhumuni gani?
Hii cycling yangu iko na 2 purposes. One, to raise funds for 18 children, 13 of them based in Kibera, from a Little Rock ECD, 5 of them from Githurai in a children's home called Compassionate Neighbors Children's Home. So hawa watoto nimewacombine I'm raising funds for them manage kuwamalize shule at least for a whole 1 year. So the total is coming to about 1.3 million shillings that I'm supposed to raise.
So your target is 1.3 million shillings
for these kids. For these kids, nataka kufanya hii kila mwaka, so najiwekea target ya 8 million kila mwaka, so that I can also maybe expand my area of support and the children I'm supporting.
So how do people reach you? How do they support you?
Kwanza niko na website wakake.org ama wakake.org. Ukienda hapo utapata historia yangu yote. Ukienda hapo kuna place ya donate. Ukienda hapo kuna place ya contacts, utanipata hapo.
So ni waingie tu kwa website.
Waingie kwa website, lakini pia niko kwa social media. Niko kwa Facebook. Wakake Otieno ama Wakake brand. My page is Wakake brand. Instagram Wakake brand. Twitter Wakake brand. Utanipata huko.
Mmesikia? Yeah, let's support this guy. This is quite daring. I'm impressed.
Asante sana.
Now, you tell us now a little more about your background. Who is Wakake?
I'm born in Siaya. Nilizaliwa Ushago. Place inaitwa Ugenya. Nikakuja Nairobi nikiwa na miaka 6 kuanza shule. I was born in 1975. Nimekula chumvi.
Naona.
Nimekula chumvi. So nilianza shule Embakasi, pre-primary, nikaingia class 1, nikahama huko tukaenda Dandora nikiwa class 4, tukahama Dandora nikaenda Korokocho, babangu tukahama tukaenda Korokocho nikiwa class I think 7 au kitu kama hiyo. So nimemalizia primary Dandora primary nikishi Korokocho. Nilipomaliza nikaenda hapa Hill. Nikasoma hapa Hill nikamaliza 93. Nikaambia father usishughulike na mimi na school fees, acha nijitafutie life. Nikaingia kwa kuuza mtumba Kikomba, nikatoka kwa mtumba nikaingia kwa muziki na nimekuwa kwa muziki kutoka 1993 up to now. Mimi napenda challenges. I love challenges. I love putting myself through challenges so that I make myself a better person. Hiyo challenge niliangalia nikaona muziki ya Kenya bado haijatambaa huko nje. Nikaangalia the best way we can maybe push our music out there is when we attach it to our local brand. So nikaingia Malindi since the last 6 years kufanya music based on the traditional lifestyle ya watu wa coast. So nimekuwa huko for 6 years nikicombine music ya Wagiriama na jazz, alafu tunaweka kwa mainstream platforms. Tumefanya Safaricom Jazz 3, tumefanya Koroga 1. Kabla ya corona ituchape, nilikuwa na plans za kwenda US tour, kupeleka wazee na vijana US tour ya kama 3 months.
Wow, well done. Yeah, so finally then what tips can you give to people as a cyclist? What do you need to do to keep fit? It's not easy.
Kitu ya kwanza mimi sema impossibilities in our minds. Nothing is impossible. Once you put impossibility in your mind, everything will be impossible. But when you put achievements that you say you'll achieve, there'll be challenges, but you'll overcome them. So long as you focus on your destination, so long as you put focus on what you intend to achieve.
How about your physical fitness? What do you do to really just keep fit?
For me, I just cycle. Really, I just cycle.
Just cycling.
I just cycle. I cycle occasionally. I walk. I can walk for 10 kilometers to keep my body and my heart rate good. Sometimes I jog, not so much, but this time I want to get into serious jogging because of the journey ahead.
So, what's your New Year resolution?
My New Year resolution, first, expand Ride with Wakake. Now expand, I want to raise more than 100 million shillings, if possible, 2022, now with Kenyans, with your support, with the world behind me. We can do this. We can support more children. We can make better education for Kenya. We can have better infrastructure. Tukishikana mikono na kina Chams Media na sisi na mabeshte tutaachieve.
Great. Well done.
Thank you so much.
And my last parting shot is cycle or ride into the new year 2022 with confidence. Ciao.
That's on the thanks to Chams Media.
Yeah. Weni bazu.
Thank you, Maze. Asante.
Wow, Alex, what an inspiring story and what a way to kick off this year.
Yeah, and this being, New Year, we are already New Year. Listening to Otieno Wakake, it's like he's just telling us, cycle your way into the new year with confidence.
Yeah, I like that.
And remember, our top guest today was Kinyanjui, a very enterprising Kenyan selling everything Kenyan at her store in Seattle City, Washington State.
Yeah, and before we close this show today, remember the festive season is still here.
Still on, yeah.
And why not treat yourself and go to We Got Gardens in Kisumu at Gajulu Hills. It's an amazing place where you get to enjoy safari-like experience within the city.
Yeah, and this is especially for those traveling to Western, those who are in Kisumu, Kakamega, and environs. I've been to that place before. You just feel like you are in the wild. You're in a park. It's good for family stay. They have good family accommodation. They have good African food also. They have got outdoor games. I mean, just amazing.
This show was hosted at the Greenhouse Mall at Adams Arcade.
And until we meet again, have a prosperous 2022.